I work full-time as a lawyer in a large corporation. I exercise almost every day, I work 10 plus hours a week on this YouTube channel, and I make time for friends and family. Yet, I rarely feel like I'm rushing or constantly behind. And no, this is not because I am superhuman or have some extra stash of hours throughout the day. I've just learned that most people overlook simple opportunities to create time for themselves. But once you know where to find them, it really does change everything. So instead of obsessing over super complicated productivity systems, I've got 5 ridiculously simple habits that stop my calendar from exploding and give me hours of breathing room every single week. So habit number 1 is to time block. And I really am a massive proponent of time blocking. And I think you should almost try to time block as much as your time as possible. And there's a couple main reasons why I really like time blocking. So firstly, I think it's really good because it really makes you think about what you want to achieve and makes you think like what your goals are and how you want to be spending your time. And so it really gives like a sense of intentionality to what you're doing and to your time. And then the second thing is that when you actually come to like look at your calendar and look at what you've time blocked, it takes away any of that decision fatigue in terms of what you're actually going to do. And so I think it just also allows you to utilize the time that you have way better. But without time blocking, I think it is easy to waste so much time. And I really do think it's something that can save you a hell of a lot of time. And yes, it does require a little bit of upfront work, but it's time well spent. And what I would do is really, firstly, try to put in like the non-negotiables in your life. So that would be like your work, sleep, I would put that in. Maybe exercise is a non-negotiable for you, and so I'd put that into like a calendar too, and any other things that you basically have to do to operate your life accordingly. From there, you'll then see where some pockets are, and in those pockets, I would then try to think about like, what are your real other goals in life, and like, what else do you want to do? And once you figure that out, you could then understand how much time you need to do those things, and then I would start slotting those things into those pockets of time that you have. And then once you've done that, I think that will give you the main picture of your life, and then you can see where any other pockets are to do maybe other things that you want to do, or you can just use those spare pockets to kind of guilt-free, just relax and chill out. Habit number 2 is to delegate where possible, because anything you can delegate, you are basically directly saving the amount of time that thing would otherwise take you to do. And I understand it's not going to be possible to delegate like loads and loads of things, most likely for a lot of people, because there is going to be a cost that you're going to have to pay to delegate any task out. But I would try to think like if there are things you can delegate, and maybe try to really think to yourself like, how much is your time worth? And maybe you could think like what your salary is based on how many hours you have to work to earn that salary, and come up with some sort of number in terms of how much your time is worth. And then if you can actually get someone to do a task for less than that amount, maybe it is something that is worth considering delegating out. And I think in particular, I would try to delegate like anything you just find like particularly annoying. Like maybe it's a lot of like house type chores, but if you can delegate anything that is annoying out, it will then free up some time, and you'll also be able to focus more on the things that you want to do, which will probably make you more productive and basically just enjoying your life that much more. And an example from my own life is related to this very YouTube channel. So I've been running this channel for about a year and a half now, and for the first year, I was editing all of the videos myself, but I was realizing that the editing was taking me a seriously long amount of time, and also I wasn't really enjoying it, and I don't think I was a particularly good editor. And so about 6 months ago, I decided to delegate out the editing. Shout out to Hawkins on the edit. And that has been such a benefit for me, and has been money definitely well spent, because it has just freed up so much of my time. Plus, Hawkins is a million times better editor than I ever was. And so try to just think in your own life, if there is some things that you can delegate out, and particularly if they are things that annoy you, like maybe it's the house cleaning that you have to do, which probably does consume a lot of time, or gardening, or maybe you can get someone to go to the shops and pick up some things for you. Like whatever it is, just have a think, and if you can delegate even just one of those things out, you will be saving some good amount of time in the process. Habit number 3 is around Parkinson's law, and I really think this is so true, but it's essentially that work will expand to fill the time that we allocate it. So if we've got some sort of work that we want to do, and we've thought to ourselves, it's probably going to take us like 10 hours to do this thing, in reality, it probably will take us about 10 hours, even if we probably could have got that done in a much shorter period of time. And I've definitely seen this like within my own life, like even as a lawyer, say if I've got some long, like chunky contract to review, but if I'm not given any sort of deadline, it will probably take me way longer sometimes to get through that contract review than it probably should, because maybe I'm just not as focused or not being as efficient, or I try and do some other task in between or get a little bit distracted doing other things, and say like that contract review, maybe it will take me 2 days to do, where I've had situations where I might get given like the exact same sort of contract, exact same length, exact same complexity, but get given a really tight deadline, like maybe get given only a few hours to do it. And whilst at first that might seem really tough and difficult to do, it really does just focus my mind, and sure enough, like 9 times out of 10, I'm able to get through the exact same sort of contract review in that much shorter, say like 3-hour period, and the quality of the review will still be the same. So the point here is to make sure that with whatever you're doing, you do set deadlines for yourself, because it really will focus your mind. And in reality, you should probably set those deadlines a lot shorter than you think, because you will most likely be able to do things a lot quicker than you think you can. Number 4 is the hell yeah or no principle. And I think this has come out of a book by Derek Sivers, where the principle is essentially that if something that you are asked to do isn't really like a hell yeah, it should most likely be a no. Because I think the point is that too often people say yes to too many things, like be it someone asking them to do some sort of work, or maybe it's invites to things. And ultimately, you wind up just saying yes to way too many things. And then you think to yourself, like, why the hell do I have no time? And I think the key point to realize here is that every yes you say to something, it has an opportunity cost. And that opportunity cost will really be that it is taking time away from being able to do other things. And maybe it's taking time away to do things that in reality, you probably want to do more than the thing that you said yes to. And so I think what you need to do here is when you are asked to do something, or when you're contemplating doing something, just take like an extra few seconds to really think to yourself, is this something that I want to do? And if it's not, don't feel bad saying no, because it's not rude for the most part to say no to things. It's really just being strategic and protecting your time appropriately. And habit number 5 is to stick to one task at a time, because I really do think that multitasking is a bit of a myth, and particularly for guys, we can't multitask anyway. But research really does seem to suggest that our brain, it hates multitasking. And some studies say that it can take between like 15 to 30 minutes to regain focus on a task at hand once we've been distracted and switched on to another task. And I also think in reality, like if we're trying to do more than one thing at once, then the quality of what we're doing, it's just not going to be as good, and like we're going to have more mental fatigue around what we're doing, and it's just not going to work. So what you need to do is really pick the one task that you're doing and then focus hard and focus in on that one task. And I think it's a bit of a mindset here, but you really just need to try and do everything you can to focus in as hard as possible. And what I would do is that for everything that you're about to do, I'd try to think to yourself, like, how long again is it going to take you to do? And then say you think it's like going to take you 1 hour to do, I would set a timer for that 1 hour. And I think that will help to focus your mind. I'd maybe also turn off like any notifications on your phone, or try to remove any other distractions from around you, and really just do everything you can to lock in and then be focused for that 1 hour or however long it might be. And I'd almost think of this focus as like a muscle, because I think the more you're able to do it and get in the zone and focus harder, like the easier it will become. And then you will just more naturally be able to do things more efficiently and more effectively. And again, it will save you a lot of time in the process. So there you go, 5 simple habits that truly do save me several hours every week. I hope you found at least one of them useful. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.